coordinate geometry, there's a few considerations that we need to think about. Firstly is this idea of the formula of a line. This is the classic form of a linear equation. The value of y is equal to mx plus b. Now, if you face any coordinate geometry problems that are not in this form, then really you've got the first step in your process is to transform them into this form. The coefficient m in this equation is the slope of the line. And let's think about what we mean when we say the slope. We mean that for every change in x, what's the change in y? So the change in y divided by the change in x. For every 1 unit of change in x, what is the corresponding change in y? B is what we call the y-intercept. If you look at what happens when we plug 0 in for x, if we say x is 0, then b tells you the value of y, because if x is 0, then the term mx is 0, and so y equals b. So we call it the y-intercept because when x is 0, in other words, when we're crossing the y-axis, then the y-intercept is where we cross. So let's have a look at a couple of questions that address this. Okay. So the key to this question is to remember what's need a pen tool. What's the definition of the slope? And the definition of the slope is the change in y over the change in x. So if we're drawing our line here, then we're saying, well, if we've got a positive slope, this is an uphill line. We'll talk about that again in a minute. And for every increase in x, what's the increase in y? Is what the slope tells us. So the slope of 3 tells us that for every 1 increase in x, there's a 3 increase in y. So the correct answer choice is A. The -7 is a red herring here. All we're saying is that x is increasing by 3, and therefore how much is b increasing by? Well, a line that has a slope of 3, for every 1 change in x, we're going to have a 3 change in y. So if we have a 3 change in x, then we're going to have a 9 change in y. So k is equal to 9. Answer choice A. Okay, let's go back and look at a different